you're live. You're live. What's up, folks? Zoe Flowers here, back with another video. And this one is the best Oracle decks for beginners. So, I just came from an event. Thank you to the person that's joined. I thought it was this video was private. Apparently, it is not. That is fine. I just came from a Pride celebration. I was actually invited to be a panelist for a Pride finale out of Westchester, New York, a virtual meeting. And so they invited me to talk about some wellness and what folks need to be doing, how advocates and activists, how we should be taking care of ourselves right now. All right, so I'm feeling a little, got my friend's earrings on, my friend Shazon Thompson, my little dream earrings. And yeah, feeling good. So, because I'm doing more public readings and not so, private readings like I usually do, I am coming into contact with a lot of new tarot readers and things like that. And then obviously, because now I'm paying more attention to my channel, unable to connect to the chat. Please try again later. I wonder why. I don't know. That's weird. Okay, so anyway, welcome to the person that joined. I don't know what the deal is with the chat. Why does it say it's unable to connect to the chat? What if I wanted to chat with people? How dare you, participants? I don't know. I don't know if it's because I had it on private or what. Anyway, let's get into it. So because I'm coming into contact with more and more people via YouTube, folks are asking me what are some of the decks. I did a reading last night, 15 people in an hour. Okay, it was like a speed reading that I did on Facebook for this private Facebook group. And so I got lots of questions from people who are new to tarot reading, right? So I figured I would hop on here because I'm still dressed up, kind of sort. I got my little eyes going. So I want to just come on and do this little video. So I don't have all the boxes because, of course, I'm still quarantining in Connecticut with my mom. So I don't have all of my boxes, but I do have my new decks, so many decks that I've bought. I have 5 more decks on the way, which is outrageous. Right now I have 17 decks in this house. It makes no sense. But anyway, these are my pandemic purchases. Like, this is my self-care. This is my retail therapy. So that's why I have so many decks, and I'm going to keep buying them. All right. So let's get into some of my first. I have my best for beginners, and then I have 2 that may not be great for beginners, but I am giving them honorable mentions because I just love the decks. I wonder if my light is plugged in. Let's see. Because it's getting kind of dark. Okay. Let's go. Well, let's get it started. All right. And then you see that? I fell down my mother's stairs the other night. All right. So the first deck it actually was a gift. I did, so the Pride event that I just did, I met these folks over on Valentine's Day because I got invited to read tarot at a sweethearts dance at this organization called The Loft, which works with lesbian, gay, transgender, gender non-conforming folks. And they invited me to come in to read tarot. I did. We fell in love with each other. And so now I've gotten to do several things with them. So as a thank you, they gave me this deck. So I had said I was never going to spend money on Doreen Virtue's cards again. I gave away a ton of the Doreen Virtue decks that I had from back in the day. I think I still have a mermaid deck, but most of my other decks I gave away. Well, this one was gifted to me in February, the Life Purpose deck. And let me tell you something. This deck has so much power, has so much energy. Man, So on point. So there's a couple of reasons why I started to stray away from Doreen Virtue's deck. One is as a Black woman, I just feel like the images, I tend to not purchase decks that don't represent folks of color, right? So that was just one of the reasons why I kind of stopped buying Doreen Virtue decks, because if there was a person of color, it I just wasn't feeling it. Okay, so that was the one reason, and then the whole for whole political reasons. But then one of my friends explained something to me the other day, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So, but this is a good. I mean, energetically, this deck is so on point, and it's so easy to read and intuit. So I would say this is a very good deck for beginners. Um, the You can see, like, I use this book and I write the dates. I write notes in here. I underline things. So my nails look. I just painted my nails today and they already look like that. Don't judge me. Okay. So yeah. So I was using this deck quite a bit when I first got it. Um, on Valentine's Day. I don't use it that much anymore, as I said, but it's very very on point. When I am doing career readings for people, or people want to know their life purpose, I 100% use this deck. Okay, but when I'm not using it, I do put it away. But again, super easy to read, and the guidebook matches the images. All right, some of the guidebooks, which that's why I'm not going to review them. Um, the messages in the book don't necessarily jive with the images on the card. Once you've been reading tarot and you've been reading oracle cards for a long time, you learn to read the entire card anyway, and you don't necessarily need the guidebook. But for beginners, it is good for you all to have. And so it's just helpful when the guidebook actually matches what the card says. Okay? Off. All right. Sorry about that. That was the person that I just did the event for. So that's the life purpose deck. So along the same lines, this romance deck. So this is the second Doreen Virtue deck. So this one I actually did buy 3 weeks ago. Again, so on point. I mean, for romance readings, I had bought another romance deck because again, I was like boycotting, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't hitting. It just was not hitting, and I never felt comfortable. The minute I got this, right, the energy that she put into things, you could just tell that she put so much time, so much effort, so much energy into her cards, and that's why the energy is so strong. And that's why when you look on YouTube, you see so many people using Doreen Virtue decks, right? So no matter what I said, these are good. However, these cards I ordered on Amazon. They did not come with a book because, more than likely, because she's not doing cards anymore. And so I guess these must have been made in a factory somewhere. When I got them, all of the cards were stuck together, and I had to go through and pull all the cards apart. And you can see it's thin, thin, thin. But again, so I don't think these came from like a Doreen Virtue factory because she's not doing cards anymore, right? She denounced it. So, but they're making these cards. I got them on Amazon, like I said, and they are still on point. Okay. All right. So those are really good for beginners. I should say what makes a card good for a beginner. So for me, number one, past life relationship. You have known each other before. Simple, simple, simple. That makes a card good for beginners, in my humble opinion, right? The image. Now, if I was doing a reading for people, I would uh, I would say more about this image. I would have a lot to say about this image and what this past life relationship was like. But again, as a beginner, you're kind of just reading the text and looking in the book. And Yeah, we have Stonehenge in the background, right? And so again, very old, very ancient, the way they're dressed, very old, although he looks like, I don't know, Fabio or low key a caveman. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. I don't know. But good for beginners. Simple, 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 simple. And most importantly, the books match, the guidebook matches the images. Although I wouldn't be able to tell you that with this deck because, again, I did not get a guidebook. And I did write Amazon a letter and I got no response because I guess they said, listen, buyer beware. All right. So those are older, these are older decks, tried and true in the Tarot Oracle community, okay? No complaints there. Now, my newer decks, okay? This Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell. I want to say I got these maybe fall of last year, late fall, I think. These decks, amazing, glorious. I'll show them to you. I won't just tease you. Amazing. So, the Age of Light, you've been training for this for lifetimes, right? And so, again, we have the same like pyramid type scheme, right? In the same way that you have this, you had Stonehenge back here denoting old. You have the Egyptian features, you have the pyramid scene, right? But you also have the cosmic energy here. So I feel like this is a good deck for beginners, even though, well, for one thing, it will make your intuition grow. It will make, this is one of those decks where your vibe will increase, your energy will increase, your DNA will, like, everything will improve, in my opinion, if you work with this deck properly. Okay? It's a high vibration deck. And the Starseed deck, I feel not so much great for beginners. I'm not sure why. Maybe just because energetically it's an even higher vibration. This just feels easier to grasp. You know, the colors are stunning. Again, the book matches the what's happening on the card. So, Council of Light. Council of Light. I sure wish my chat was working. Council of Light, 94. This is another book that has notes in it. I put notes in pretty much all my books. Um, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. All right, so it talks a little bit about who the Council of Light is. So good for beginners to start having the language of Ascended Masters introduced if you're not familiar with Ascended Masters, guides, light workers. I feel like this is a good book to introduce you to that. Okay, again, stunning colors will definitely help your intuition to grow. It will raise your frequency. As you see, we have multicultural images, which I love. Good deck for beginners. Also has spreads that you can use um, in the beginning, so different spreads that you can utilize. Tells you how to shuffle the cards and how to make the spreads. Yeah, tells you how to open sacred space. So a good book for beginners, right? High vibration, high energy, but why not jump in the deep end? Okay. There is a lot going on with this deck. And at the same time, I feel like it's very helpful if you want to learn certain things. Now, it is very dense, right? And that is the Black Moon Astrology Cards Oracle deck. First of all, let me also say the difference between an Oracle deck and Tarot cards. So, Tarot cards, you have your traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, and that has the suits, the pentacles, the cups, the swords, and the wands, right? So anytime you see the suits, it could be in some decks. This could be coins instead of wands. It could be rods. Instead of cups, it could be chalices, right? But anytime you see what's called a major arcana and a minor arcana, so this would be your major arcana, right? The sun, the moon, the star, the fool, the devil, a major arcana, meaning the big secrets, the things of the esoteric in the beginning of the deck. And then you have the minor arcana, the things of the mundane, the things of the everyday. And that's going to be your pentacles, which can denote money, resources, things like that, cups, emotions, swords, ideas, wands, action, right? So anytime you see anything like that, this is a tarot deck, right? This is based off of the ancient archetypes. Okay. Oracle is different. Oracle has a message at the bottom. It's very clear. It's very easy to read. I taught myself on very esoteric, unusual tarot decks, and so by the time I got to the traditional Rider Waite Tarot, I was like, oh my God, like this is why everybody starts with this. Like, why did I make things so hard for myself? But the good thing about starting on weird decks is it gets your intuition to grow because you have to read the whole deck because nothing in the deck matches the traditional archetype, right? So this is the box that the Black Moon astrology comes in. So I say it's dense because there's just a lot going on, right? It tells you about each one of the houses in astrology. It tells you about the astrological signs. It tells you about the planets. So it's a lot. But again, if you want to learn, if you're like a nerd like me, Gemini Moon, right? Knowledge, then it's going to be really, really good for you, right? The water elements, right? So water element being Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, Earth, Earth is Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, Fire, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, Air, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, right? So it gives you that as well. So here we have the Saturn, right? Saturn, the planet of limitations and hard truths, grinding you down, making you figure out what the truth is of each situation. And each card is numbered. I add numerology to it just because I'm also a numerology person, but they don't really go into numerology in this deck. I am looking for a good numerology deck, so that will be my next thing, right? So this again, it's a challenging deck, but it's good if you want to learn. The crystal. Got some other books over here. The Crystal Spirits deck by Colette Baron Reed. I mean, nice, thick guidebook. Again, simple. Rose quartz, 48. We go to the 48th one. There it is, right? And it gives you the essential meaning. So we know rose quartz is about love, self-love, or love between people. If you need your heart open, right? Those are the types of things. You want to draw love to you. You want to be more loving. You would pick up that rose quartz. And then here it is. Essential meaning, self-love, self-worth, being enough, worthiness, right? And then it gives you a little bit about what happens when rose quartz appears, the spirit of rose quartz. It gives you a relationship message, and then it gives you a prosperity message. Of course, when you're more used to reading, you'll be able to read all types of things beyond what the book says, but amazing introduction to crystals. All right. And yeah. Maybe one of the things I would have liked is maybe how to meditate with it, but each person can do that for themselves. And I have another crystal deck that does have meditations for each crystal, but that is not for beginners, that deck. I don't believe. Another amazing deck. So in love with this deck. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this deck. And this is another new purchase. I guess I've had this about 2 months now, maybe Yeah, about 2 months, maybe a little longer. I had to scour the internet to find this deck, this Denise Lynn Sacred Destiny deck. Clear illumination. Now, you know, maybe this is more, this might actually be more intermediate than beginners, depending, right? Because how does that denote patience? That denotes freedom. This might actually be more of an intermediate, just because some of the images don't necessarily go with what's happening and what happens in the book, right? So, patience, she says, water represents our emotions, our feelings. Where's the water at? Our subconscious and our nocturnal dreams. When water becomes condensed as fog, we can't see clearly. Fog occurs when the air is cooled, blah, blah, blah. In dense fog, it's best to be quiet and still, blah, blah, blah. This is taken aback. This is for intermediate people. It is. It is. Because not even the book, Be Patient, the Truth Will Emerge in a State of, yeah, yeah. Because, see, she's talking about fog, she's talking about water, and I'm like, where's the fog at? Where's the water at? So, yeah. Stunning deck. I love it. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my absolute favorites. But I would say, as far as beginners, that's going to be a no. It's going to be a no for me. All right. I recount. I stand corrected. Okay. Now this is making me rethink my. All right. And I feel like we have another intermediate checking in. I don't think so. Let's see. All right. So the next one, my next favorite deck. This should have just been called my favorite decks. Okay, is the Wise Oracle deck. Oh my God, the Wisdom of the Oracle. This deck, again, visually stunning, stunning. And I feel like this is good for beginners. Message in the bottle. So we've got water here. We've got the message in the water, right? So you see the phone underwater. So half of it is submerged, the other half is coming out. So this makes me feel like there are some things that have yet to be hidden. Maybe you've cast your maybe you've reached out to someone, you haven't heard back from them yet. Maybe you're not being as clear, as crystal clear as you could be in your communication. So it's like sending a message in the bottle, the way you're communicating. So this could be a message to communicate more clearly, or it could be a message is coming to you because we have the bird here. Maybe the bird is pulling the message out of the water, pulling the phone out of the water, right? What was once weighted down is now light and it's on its way to you. Okay. No place like home. So you have a singular home. It's raised above the rest. There's a light coming out from the doorway. So there's no place like home. That makes sense to me. Okay. Yeah. By the book. So again, this feels another ancestor card to me. You do what your ancestors did. You follow the rules. This feels very much like Hierophant energy to me. A leg up. I mean, I feel like this is kind of clear, right? The mama helping the baby, giving the baby a leg up makes sense to me. You're poised for greatness, you're excited. Yeah. Okay. So, and even more importantly, the guidebook matches the photo. So this deck has a relationship message and a protection message. So in this particular deck, if the cards are upside down, there's actually a protection message. And she recommends that you read the protection message if the deck is upside down. You don't read the other ones. Okay? Good deck for beginners. Wisdom of the Oracle. Another one that you see a lot of your favorite YouTubers using. Okay? So those are my top favorite decks for beginners. Now, two honorable mentions. Kim France. This right here. This. I love this deck. I love this deck. Why I say it's more on the spectrum of intermediate is because, again, like the other one, not only so the deck talks about the animals as personalities, and so it can be a little confusing unless your intuition is on point about what the actual message is. Because one of the things she says in here is like, a hyena personality is this. A hyena personality might use humor to cover up what's really going on with them. So it's not so much a deck to tell you like what's happening, what's going on, like, oh, somebody's here to give you a leg up, right? Or what to expect. Oh, a message is coming in a bottle. It doesn't really do that. And so you have to have a certain amount of intuition in tune so that you can read this card, right? This is a deck that very few of these I can just look at and intuit and know what the message is. I definitely have to go to the guidebook. Like of this, the crow, I know the crow is like a psychic animal, a spiritual animal. I know that. But you kind of have to know what each animal spirit stands for if you want to like freestyle. Okay. So honorable mention just because she's so thorough. Kim is so thorough with her. She's so thorough. This deck is broken down into earth, air, fire, water. All the animals are broken down that way. The colors are stunning. And then some of these also denote the different chakras. But again, that's intermediate information. So I just want to give that an honorable mention because I just feel like I have to. And then another honorable mention is Kim France checking in again with the wild unknown archetype. Now, if you want to get into that shadow work, you want to know what archetypes are behind situations. If you want to get into shadow work, then this is good for that. If you want to be able to read people and tell them what archetype is happening behind each situation, what archetype is driving the situation, what archetype you might need to work on, what archetype. So first of all, you have to know what an archetype is, right? You have to have had some understanding of that. I mean, she explains it in here, but it's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Intermediate. So please, as always, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think about my review. If you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you soon. Bye.